for listening live here on Marvelous Monday on 12radio.com. I love being here with you on Mondays. That's why I do it times two. So you probably already heard me this morning with Katie on the 12 News Show. We have so much fun with that show. That's a great way to start out my Monday. And then to kick it off for the rest of the day on my show as well. So much fun. So I want to invite you to join me in the chat room if you're available. Go to 12radio.com and click on chat, and that will take you right to our Facebook group, where, of course, I know the vast majority of you are already members. But if you are not, simply ask to join, and my producer, Scott, will let you right in the door. I will be taking your questions and reading requests later on in the show, so feel free to post those. I am also live times two in the chat room today because I am live on Facebook Live. So you can watch the show today if you would rather. You can listen or watch. Don't do both because the timing doesn't sync up, and so that gets a little weird. But I love to feel like I'm sort of looking you in the eye as I'm talking to you on the air. So that's a fun part of doing radio now. I never really thought about that there would come a time when I did radio that I would also be on video, but that's happening. I mean, that's where we're at with technology. So that's a really fun piece of this for me. So if you can, join me on the video. If you are listening to this in the archives, or if you are listening to it as a replay later on in the week, the video is still available. It's in the chat room. You can also find it on the homepage of my website, kristibrower.com. I upload all my videos to my YouTube channel, and then I post my latest show on the homepage of my website. So there are lots of ways to watch the show. Or, you know, obviously, I was reminded by a very sweet listener who I appreciate very much that I am behind in archiving my shows in the on-demand at 12radio.com. So that is my goal this week, to get caught up. But in the meantime, if you've missed a show, you can certainly go to my website to find it. I also do another way of sort of linking up my show and my blog. So you guys know that I write for the Power Peak, Mark Husson's newsletter, every week. Then I post that article to my blog, which is Kindred Spirits blog on kristibrower.com, and I link the article and the video of the show, or the recording if the video didn't work out, because occasionally it doesn't. I link them there so you can read the article and then listen to the show. So I'm working on doing that and becoming, you know, more tech savvy, more continuity, and more ways for you to go back and find something. So if there was a show topic you were really interested in and you want to hear it again, maybe you want to read the article that went with it, you can do that by going to my blog. So I wanted you to know that. I'm having a lot of fun with stuff like that lately. Oh my goodness. So a couple of things I'm excited about today. I have a brand new meditation for you. So you know, if you listen to my show, that I do a meditation every week, and they're meditations that I've written and recorded myself. Sometimes I do them live. Today's will be recorded, a recorded meditation. But I have a lot of fun combining energy healing and meditation and spiritual journey and self-discovery into these little meditation segments that I write for my show. And I wrote a new one today that I'm pretty excited about. So we're going to get to that in just a couple of minutes. But first, I wanted to share with you sort of where this whole topic started for me. I wrote my article this week in the Power Peak. It was called Hot and Bothered. So I am not a fan of summer. If I were to choose my least favorite season, it would be now, July and August, when it is the hottest where I live. I don't tolerate that kind of intensity very well. I don't like the heat, but I feel like it's a period of intensity in energy as well. The sun's energy is intense. It flares intense emotions in all of us. It is a time where I feel myself wanting to hide out in my basement where it's cool and dark. So I wrote my article this week on intensity and on how do we bring down intensity in particular situations. Intensity is not a bad thing. It can be very powerful and inspiring. It unites groups of people sometimes, but it needs to last for a short term. Intense things should be in short bursts, not long term. And that's why summer drives me crazy, because it is not a short burst. It is months. And that is a lot of intensity for me. As a kinetic empath, I feel so intensely my own emotions, other people's emotions, the energy that's swirling around us. And when it gets intense, it wears me out. So this is a period of time where I have to really use my own skills to bring that intensity level down. So not only is today's show and the Power Peak article for you, it was definitely for me as well, because I'm catching myself being more irritated. I'm catching myself having some road rage. My son commented in the car the other day, "Man, you have a lot of road rage today." Now, I don't normally. I really work at being a very forgiving driver, a very understanding driver. I let people in if they need in. I don't get mad if someone cuts me off. I just, in general, choose not to let that stuff get to me. But the intensity of the energy right now has really got me flared up, and I'm noticing it. I'm irritated and frustrated and, more than usual. Long-term intensity, being exposed to intensity for too long, leads to irritation, frustration, anger, and explosive outbursts of emotional energy. I'm sure you've had it. I'm sure you've seen it in other people. And this is that time of year where I am that easily irritated, intense feeling person. So I wanted to talk about a few things that we can do to bring that energy down. And if this isn't you and you love summer and you feel great about this energy, that's awesome. We're not all the same. Some of us tolerate this kind of energy differently. I'm a fire sign. I already have a lot of intensity inside of myself. And so when it builds up around me, it just gets to be too much. I'm sure there are periods for all of us where this is true. So a few things. I'm going to give a couple of tips, then we're going to do the meditation, just give some more tips. I'm going to talk about a stone, and then we're going to do some readings, okay? So my first tip when intensity is high, whether it's emotional intensity or it's things are physically intense or you're in a situation where other people are very intense, slow down. When everything seems to be going too fast, be intentionally slow. Take time to respond to that irritating message. This is something I really have to catch myself in. If I get an email or a Facebook message or something that I'm really irritated by, I wait sometimes as much as 24 hours before I respond to it, because I am intentionally dialing down the intensity inside of myself, and for the benefit of whoever I'm responding to, I'm going to slow down. Sometimes you have to back off in traffic. If you're irritated and intense in driving, back off. Pull over for a minute. Take a break. This time of year, I have to stay home sometimes. Even if it's something I want to do or somewhere I want to go, if it's feeling too intense for me, I will have to stay home and say, this is too much for me. As much as I want to be there, I can't do it. I've got to have a break from the intensity. So I have to recognize it in myself. Slow things down. Take some time. Step back. Often a day of break can minimize intensity a lot. It can dial that intensity level down quite a bit. Just time will do that for us. Something else that you can do. Be prepared. So if you get easily overwhelmed in intense situations, have a game plan in case you're out somewhere and can't get to a place where you can slow things down. Carry earbuds and music on your phone that bring you back to yourself. Or keep an essential oil in your bag that is grounding, like cedar or sandalwood. Sometimes in intense situations in the summer, when I've just had too much heat, too much stimulation, I go sit in my car in the air conditioning for a while, and that brings me down. So I try to always be prepared for how can I dial down intensity for myself, and that's one way that I can do it. Okay, so now I want to share this brand new meditation with you before we go any further. And Scott and I, we have to synchronize our watches a little bit here, because what's going to happen is I'm going to play the meditation out loud in my office for those of you who are on the video so that you can hear it on the video. Scott's going to play it live over 1-2 Radio. We have to time them together so that they end at the same time so that we don't run into trouble with timing and one of them overlaps the other. So, okay, Scott, I hope you're ready, and let's do it. Ready, set, go. Shifting perspective. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Allow your body to settle and your mind to go quiet. Feel the music in your heart transporting you to another place, a place of peace. You are transported to a quiet room full of comfortable chairs. Choose a chair and relax. Before you is a screen. On this screen you can project any thought or memory that you want to examine. On a table next to you is a basket full of colored glasses. When you project the thought onto the screen, you can wear glasses of different colors to change the way you see the image. You will notice things that have been hidden about yourself and anyone else involved. Let's try it. Choose a person or situation that is very intense in your life right now. As you think about it, an image appears on the screen. Examine the image for a moment. Feel the intensity that radiates from the image. Now, let's shift your perspective. Put on the red glasses and examine the image. How does it change for you? Do you see the hidden need and fear in the situation? Does this change your understanding? Now try the orange glasses. Do you see the hidden emotions? How does this change your understanding? Now the yellow glasses. Do you see the hidden self-doubt, guilt, and shame? How does this change your understanding? The green glasses. Do you see the hidden self-loathing, grief, and pain? How does this change your understanding? And the blue glasses. Do you see all the words that have gone unsaid in this situation? How does this change your understanding? The purple glasses. Do you see the missed intuitive hits? How does this change your understanding? And the silver glasses. Do you see a guide or angel? Ask them a question. How does this change your understanding? And last, the pink glasses. See the situation through unconditional love. How does this change your understanding? Now, take off the glasses and examine the image with your new understanding. Do you feel the same intensity? Take a moment to ponder how your perspective has shifted with a clearer understanding of all involved. And now, take 3 deep breaths.
open your eyes.
And welcome back to Kindred Spirits. I'm your host, Kristi Brower, and of course you're listening live here on Marvelous Monday to 12radio.com. I hope you enjoyed that meditation. I'm not exactly sure how it worked, if it came over the video okay. I hope it did. If not, of course, it will be available in the on-demand and in the replay. I'm just trying something new to see. This whole doing radio with two different audio sources when you do Facebook Live and you do audio through the video is really kind of strange, especially because radio has a delay. There's a delay of a few seconds, sometimes up to even a minute from what I'm doing live. And so the video and the audio over 12 Radio don't sync up. And so we're always trying to find ways to make that work the very best. So that was a new attempt. So, feel free to let me know in the chat if you could hear that okay. That meditation, Shifting Perspective, is now available for free download at my website, kristibrower.com, on the free meditations page. So there are lots and lots of meditations over there. I'm building up quite a collection after I've been doing this for a few years. And I just always want to direct you there because these meditations are a really important part of my work, and I know that they're an important part of your journey and your work as well, and that's why I write them. They have a lot of meaning for me, and I know that over time they have the ability to make a lot of changes in you, to assist you in moving forward in different ways. And so this meditation was inspired by the idea that sometimes we need to look at a situation from multiple angles in order to really understand it. And when we do that, we can reduce the intensity. We can shift our perspective to a place of understanding that is different than when we're only seeing it from one side. So in a way, this is how I read people's energy bodies. This is a similar, this is a good representation of what it means to read the aura. When you see things through all of those different color filters, you often can better understand where someone's coming from or where you're coming from. Sometimes you need to look at your own filters to understand yourself. And so that's where that meditation was inspired from. I'm always thinking about how to better understand myself, better understand people around me, whether it's through energy or it's emotionally or it's psychologically or, whatever, however you want to say it. There are lots of different ways to look at things and to look at situations and to look at people. And so that's something that is a big part of what I would consider my life's work. So I'm glad some of you are saying you enjoyed the meditation. I'm glad that you did. I appreciate that. Glad that you're here with me today. I wanted to get back to the topic today, which is how to reduce intensity, how to bring intensity down. For me, things have been very intense lately, so I wanted to share that with you in case there's something going on with you. So I did start with a couple of tips. These came from my Power Peak article. If you do not subscribe to the Power Peak, I would recommend that you do. This is Mark Husson's weekly newsletter. It comes out on Saturday night. There's a great daily horoscope in there from C.A. Brooks. There's always a message from Mark about what's going on in the 1-2 family. And I write Kristi's Quill. There's an article every week from Mo. There's an article every week from Grace. We just, we really have a lot of fun sharing our passions with you guys. That's really what it's about. So I'm going to post that in the chat as soon as Facebook will let me. But if you go to 12house.com, you can register to receive the Power Peak. So if you don't already, I would suggest that you do because it's a lot of fun. But in my article this week, which I did call Hot and Bothered, because that is a great way to describe me in this, nearly 100-degree weather that we are having. I felt the need to find some ways to reduce intensity. So let's talk about some other ways. Speak up. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if things are too intense for you, you need to say something. Ask for a break. Bow out of a situation for a little while. Learn to predict yourself. And if you can feel an emotional blow coming, you need to take a break to prevent it. So if intensity is building up around you, building up inside of you, and you're feeling like this is more than I can take, it is okay to say, I need to take a break from this. Can we talk about this tomorrow? Can we deal with this issue in an hour? Can I have a half an hour to settle and to regroup with myself? It's okay to ask for that. That is just part of being human. There is nothing wrong with needing a break. We don't all have to be on all the time. We don't all have to be able to solve every problem in the moment. It's okay to say, I need a little time with this. But you won't get it unless you ask for it, right? Okay, next tip. Choose understanding. If things are becoming intense for you, then the people around you are experiencing the same intensity. So recognize when someone has been caught up in the moment, just like you have been caught up in the moment. I've been doing this with traffic lately. Traffic is a great study in human behavior. For me, I'm always paying attention to what's happening in traffic around me. I'm always paying attention to my reactions, other people's. It tells me a lot about what's happening in the energy, the collective energy. So it's a great opportunity to realize that if you're feeling intense in the moment, so are the people around you. And so be understanding. Recognize that they're dealing with it just like you are. And so they may be dealing with it well, they may not. You too, you know. Get creative. So intense, powerful energy can be used to channel into something that you love to do, doing something creative or doing something physical, like swimming or hiking in the mountains, or maybe it's time to clean out your closets. It's a good idea to burn off that energy in a positive way. So choose something that you really want to do. If there's a creative outlet that you have that you love, do it. If there's something physical that feels good to you to help you burn off intense energy, do that. Don't just let it linger. That's when it builds up and causes a blow. You need to burn it off in some way. So do something with it. Sleep. Get plenty of rest during a time of intensity. Your body and your mind need a break. And so sleep is a great break from the intensity of the sun in the summer, for me, or from the intensity of something going on in your life. Be sure that you are allowing yourself time away from it, that you're resting. Staying up all night thinking and worrying and planning is a great way to keep that intensity building. So do the opposite and get some sleep. Reach out. We all need support. Tell someone if this is a hard time for you. Ask for support and understanding when you need time to yourself. I was talking to my wife Rhonda the other day about how the sun and this summertime period is so intense for me and how much I really don't love it. And we do a lot of really fun stuff in the summer. I love being outside. I love camping. I love going to softball tournaments with my nieces. I love going and being out on the water. I love all of those things. But they are very intense for me emotionally and physically. And sometimes I just have to have a break from them. Sometimes, people tease me that know me to say that I'm a vampire because it's very dark in my house. I keep my blinds closed. I don't use a lot of lights. In this time of year, I love to go down in the basement and watch something on Netflix in the dark. It really helps to bring the intensity down for me. And so it may seem sort of odd. I know it seems odd to my cleaning lady. She comes once a week and she opens all my blinds while she's in my house and turns on all my lights. Now, I'm sure that that's because she needs to be able to see to clean. But I think she also thinks she's letting the sun in because this house is too dark. And as soon as she leaves, I have to close all the blinds and turn off all the lights. I just can't take it. I can't take that kind of intensity. So it's okay to say what you need. It's okay to reach out for help. And it's okay to recognize if you're one of those people that, you go through a period that's too intense for you and you need a break, you need to dial it down. It's okay to do that. You don't have to suffer through. We all handle it differently. I have a brother-in-law who also really struggles with the sun. He has a hard time being outside, doesn't like to be in the sun very much. And so he really struggles with some of the family stuff that we do that's out in the sun because he says he just cannot take the intensity of that heat. And I'm with him. I'm totally with him on that. So it's okay always to say what you need and to do what's best for you. even if that means that you are somewhat disappointing to someone else, even if you aren't there at a time that somebody wished that you were, I believe that the people who love you will be understanding. As long as you are honest and clear about, hey, the reason I didn't come is because I cannot take one more day in that heat, or I cannot take one more day in that emotional intensity. Going through emotionally intense times, when my dad was on hospice and things were getting really intense near the end of his life, it was like that. Sometimes, what we discovered, my sisters and I would take turns staying with my dad and caring for him. We had other family members who did as well, but sometimes you would spend hours in the house with him. And it was a very intense period because we knew that he was very close. He could go at any time. And we all got really, really good at Candy Crush on our phones because we had to do something to remove ourselves from the intensity of those moments. We had to have a break from them, and that is okay. It's okay to recognize when you need it, and it's okay to give it to yourself. There is not one thing wrong with that. So I just wanted to talk about that today. Please feel free to share your questions and comments in the chat. I am also doing readings throughout the show, and so I wanted to encourage you to ask your questions, post your questions and comments in the chat, and I will get to you. Because I know that this is a period where there's a lot of intensity, physical intensity, emotional intensity. Just that, for me, in my area, we have a very short summer. We have a short period of time where the weather is good. And so it feels like we just run as hard as we can go to do as many things outside as we can do before the weather gets cold again. It's a very intense period. I am always grateful for fall. I am. When the weather starts to cool off, I am so relieved that we can go back to a slower schedule. And I love all the stuff that we do. I'm not complaining at all. But I am ready for that intensity level to come down when it does. So think about that. Where are you at when it comes to intensity? Are you already an intense person? Are you an intense personality? And if you are, then intense moments really amplify that, if that's something new. And I am. I'm a fire sign. I can be very intense. I know I can. And so I try to dial it back as much as I can. Okay, I have an email reading I wanted to share with you. This is my energy shift email reading. So in thinking about shifting out of intensity, or just shifting in general, like the meditation was a shift in perspective. So it can shift you out of intensity. It can also shift you in lots of different ways. If you just feel stuck in a situation, then a process like that can really help you to see it from a different angle. This is another option for that. So this is my energy shift email reading over at 12listen.com. So I posted it in the chat, but if you're not in the chat, just go to 12listen.com, click on my name, click on my email services, and you'll find it in there. So this is what I had to say about it. Are you feeling stuck? Do you feel like you're walking through mud? Shifting your energy creates movement in your life. It creates change, it creates growth, and it moves you forward toward your goals. All you have to do is tell me where you are stuck, and I will give you an energy shift exercise for you to practice to shift you out of park and into drive. So this is an email reading, so you give me your situation. If you're feeling stuck in any particular area, I will give you a reading about what's going on and how do you shift out of it. And then I will also give you some kind of an exercise, something that you do yourself that shifts you out of that stuck feeling. So it might be something like the energy shift, the shifting perspective meditation. It might be something else. There are lots of different ways to shift, but I will assist you in doing that. There's probably an energy healing component to that as well, because there frequently is with energy shifting. Sometimes there's something going on in your energy body that's holding you in place, that's holding you hostage, so to speak. So that is something that I can help you with my energy shift meditation, or email reading. So check that out. I love email readings. They're really fun because I like the fact that you can go back and review them. So if it's an ongoing situation, you read it, and then maybe you go do some of the stuff I recommend, and then you come back and you read it again. And it may have a little bit different meaning for you the second time around or the third time around. As you move forward and you move into that process, you will find that the meaning will change, or some things that maybe didn't mean anything at first when you read it will now have meaning as things have changed. And so I love that about our email readings, because they really are kind of progressive in that way, that you can go and reread them. I had a reading years ago from Colette Baron Reed. She's one of my favorites, and I've used her cards and read her stuff and, you know, been involved in things that she does for a long time. And I had a reading with her. Gosh, it was about 4 years ago now. And every once in a while, I go back and I read that reading. It was 45 minutes of just her talking, and I just wrote and took notes. And it's amazing how it's still playing out in my life. That reading has not come all the way through in my life. Parts of it have. Some of it happened almost instantly. Some of it took more time, and some of it is still coming. And so it's a lot of fun to see that process. And so that's why I love email readings, because you can walk yourself through that. So the stone for this week is celestite. This is celestite. It's a really pretty little blue stone. And it is a stone that opens up connections and communication with the divine. So if you're looking for a message from your guides or your angels, you're trying to move forward, you're feeling stuck in a particular situation and you need guidance and you're not feeling like you're connected, celestite is a great stone to hold in meditation, to ask questions and to make that connection. It is, this blue color is this color of unconditional love. And that is the energy that is very easy to connect to when it comes to your divine guidance. When you can channel and connect into that energy of unconditional love, that's where your loved ones who've crossed over, that's where your guides and angels and spirit animals and goddesses and whoever you want to connect to, that's the energy, that energy of unconditional love. And this color, this robin's egg blue color, like celestite, like blue lace agate is another one that is that same color, can help you to make that connection. It's a really great way to help you to shift and move forward when you're struggling. Sometimes we feel stuck, and when we feel stuck, we feel disconnected. Like we don't have any connection anymore to the divine. We don't have any connection anymore to our divine guidance system. And so this is a great opportunity to get that. Okay, I want to get to a few questions here in the chat. Facebook, I don't know if you guys are having trouble with Facebook, but Facebook is jumping around for me. So it's taking me just a minute to locate my banner. Get to some of you guys here. Christine says, yes, the energy has been intense. I was forced to take some rest after someone jumped on my foot last week. Doing better, but I'd be grateful for a scan. Good heavens, Christine, someone jumped on your foot? Was it on purpose? That's crazy. Okay, let's do a quick scan, Christine, and see what's going on here. Okay, first I just want to validate for you and commend you that I feel like you've done some good work on yourself. You do have a little bit of a instability in your root and a little bit of an overactive crown, but it's not as much as what I see other times in you. And so I feel like you are doing a good job of maintaining your own stability, doing a good job of taking care of yourself, even though you're in an intense period. So let's just stabilize that root chakra. Let's put it right back into place where it needs to be. And then we're going to draw that root chakra energy all the way up through your energy body and clear it out the crown of your head. Releasing stagnant energy that's built up, that's got your mind running just a little bit. Give you some relief from that brain that never stops to reduce that intensity that can happen. Most intensity really is in our heads, isn't it? We do it to ourselves. It's our thinking. Oh, much better, Christine. I think that's going to feel a whole lot better for you. So thank you for that question. Okay. Get to a few other questions. Okay, Eva says, I would appreciate some energy alignment, please. Yes. Okay, so a couple of interesting things going on, Eva. I have some pain in my low back on the right. And I feel like there's a Yeah, there's a little misalignment in that root that's actually causing some physical pain. So you may be feeling that. I definitely am. But I also feel like there's this strange pull at your solar plexus. I feel like there's somebody who is pulling at you. You know that feeling when somebody really wants something from you or needs something from you. And what I feel is happening is that you are resisting, that you are trying to resist that pull. And so it's pulling your energy body off to the side. I know you can't see my solar plexus in the video, but I feel like I'm being pulled off to the right, like from my abdomen, like something's pulling me. And it's when you ask for energy alignment, it's because you know you're not aligned. It's tugging at you, pulling you to the side. So I'm going to pull that energy back and shift you into place. So when you are feeling that pull, when somebody is trying to connect to you, someone's trying to take some of your personal power, a great visual to use is a wall of bulletproof glass. Put a wall of bulletproof glass between you and them. That creates a barrier. It does not allow their energy in. They are not allowed to come in and take from you. They're not allowed to connect to you. When an attachment is attempted, it hits the wall and bounces off, and it just returns to them because it's their energy and that's where it should go anyway. But that's something that you can do, Eva, because I feel like there's a situation here that's exhausting for you. It's wearing you down. And this person has been known to wear you down in the past, which is unfortunate, but they know that if they pull at you and pull at you and pull at you, sometimes you give in. And so I feel like that's part of what's happening, is that there's an attempt to get you to give in. So I've got you lined back up. Now, if you just use the wall of bulletproof glass and continue to set your firm boundaries with this individual, I think that over time it will get better. When you change your pattern, when you don't give in anymore, when you don't allow that to be the case, you will find that over time that person will stop trying. Now, it takes time. I'm not going to say it's going to be immediate. It isn't. But it will get less and less intense when they realize that their attempts are no longer successful. Okay? So I hope you know what I'm talking about, who I'm talking about. And if you have any questions about that, post them in the chat and I'll check for that in just a minute. Okay? Thank you for being here. Let's see. Annika says, hi all. I would love an energy clearing if time permits. I'm in the middle of moving and am packing up and selling my stuff. The closer I get to the moving day, the more emotional I get. Yes. Okay. So Annika, I feel like you have an attachment, an emotional attachment to where you are. You know you need to leave. You know you need to go, but you're having trouble letting go. So I want to pull your cords, if that's all right with you. That means to just release your attachments to the place that you live, to people around you, to situations around you. Whenever we move and change something, it's because there are parts of it that are a situation that we don't like. But there are always parts that we do like too. And so it's never a really easy, oh, I hate everything about this, I can't wait to go. That's not really a very common way it happens when we move. It's usually there are some things that are good, some things that are not good. And so we have to be able to detach from the things that were good so that we can move forward and find new things that are good. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I'm going to pull your cords to the place that you live. And I feel like there may be a couple of people involved in this as well. Just to release your attachment. It doesn't mean that any relationships will end. It simply means that you disconnect yourself so that you're no longer tethered there, so that you can move forward. The other thing that I want to tell you is that you're going through a grief process. Whenever change happens, we grieve it. Even big change, little change, doesn't matter. It's okay to get emotional. It's okay to feel a little sad about it. That's normal. That is just part of being human. So don't be too hard on yourself for that, and allow that moment of sadness. I felt that way every time I've moved. Even though I was moving to a new house, I was glad to move. I wanted to move. I teared up a little bit the last day I was in the house that I'd been living in, because there's so much energy there. There's so much memory there, so many positive things that happened, even if it's somewhere that you don't want to live anymore. So let's just remember that for you, okay? And hold the energy high, that it's okay for you if you feel a little bit sad about it for a while. It will get better. But I have pulled all of your attachments to your current living situation, and that's going to help, okay? So lots of love to you. Thank you for that. Lynn says, may I please have a little help clearing my body? I am under lots of intense stress and really feeling it. Oh, Lynn, I'm glad you're here today because obviously this show topic was for you, right? Okay, you know what I feel is happening with you, Lynn? Your bubble is really full. So your bubble is this arm's length level of our energy bodies. It's that when we're kids and we're learning about personal space and we say, this is my bubble, you know. It is. It literally is. We sometimes say things about the energy body that are in fact literal and we just don't realize that we are. That bubble is full of emotional energy that doesn't belong to you. So lots of us as empaths, Lynn, which of course you are an empath, your energy body is kind of like a sponge and you suck up other people's emotional energy and absorb it rather than it just sort of bouncing off and it being that bubble should be a barrier, should be a space between you and other people, but yours is full of other people's energy. So I'm going to clear your bubble. And that will really help to bring the intensity down. But I want you to go to my website, KristiBrower.com, go to free meditations, and download the meditation called Clear Your Bubble. That meditation is the process that I'm going to use today to clear your bubble, and it's something you can do for yourself. And when you're going through a lot of stress and things are intense, this is a great way to clear away that emotional energy that you may be picking up from other people that's amplifying your emotional energy, okay? So for me, I'm just going to take a little moment here and I'm going to clear your bubble of all of that excess emotional energy that doesn't belong to you. And then we're going to fill your bubble up with your heart chakra energy, which today I see as sort of a mint green and just a baby pink, really pale, just beautiful, sweet energy. I think that says a lot about you, Lynn. Okay, but that process that I just used is in the meditation, so you can do it every day to help bring that intensity down. It's another great way to do it when you're feeling, so much piling up on you that belongs to someone else. So thank you for that question. Thanks for being here. Annika says, great morning to you, Kristi. Intense? Yes. I think I create little dust clouds at times as if to say, eat my dust. It's 114 degrees Fahrenheit again. Oh, Annika. There is no way I could live through that. I'm so glad that I don't live in a place that breaks 100 hard. We get to 100 a few times in the summer. We really never go over it. I cannot imagine doing that. That is crazy. Very scary, honestly, to live in that kind of heat. So much love to you, and please stay cool and stay safe. Okay. I know there were some more comments. I saw them coming in, but Facebook has not updated itself for me, so I'm going to do it for you. I did want to say that on Wednesday this week, at 1 p.m. Pacific, I am a guest on Postcards to the Universe with Melissa Caprio. And I have some fun creative projects I have started that are going to be available on my website quite soon. And I'm going to be talking with Melissa about that and sharing a little bit more about that. So you don't want to miss that show. So that is Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, right after The Long Road with Kai Greenway. Don't miss that. I have never been Melissa's guest before, so I am excited to be on her show. So you're going to want to join us for that. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to attempt to refresh my comments. Yay! Okay. Eva says, thank you, Kristi, for adjusting my energy. I exactly know who you are talking about. I visited my friend yesterday, and you're right. I need to maintain stronger boundaries between us. Ah, good. I'm glad that you know who it is, Eva. That always helps. And now you just have to, work a little bit on setting those. But knowing who it is half the battle, and understanding what you need to do to protect yourself. So thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Debbie says, my right leg and hip area are in pain. Went to chiropractor and had a massage. Any hits? Oh, Debbie. Boy, it is just unstable root chakra day, guys. Okay. Yeah, Debbie. Yeah, I'm going to put your root back in. Your root is shifted out. So it's pulled off to the side. And when your root is pulled off to the side, rather than being in the center of your body where it's grounded and, connected, it can cause pain in your joints because it can pull, as it pulls your energy body to one side or the other, it can pull your physical body to one side or the other as well. So I'm going to stabilize your root. I want you, though, to go get my free meditation called Energy Breathing. It's a great one to help to balance the root chakra and keep it in alignment, okay? And if you continue to have this problem, call me at 12listen and let's do some more root chakra stabilization. Sometimes when your root gets unstable, it takes a few sessions to really get it back into place and hold it there. And so we may need to do that. So if this helps and then it slips back out again, then that would be a great time to call me. Okay, thank you very much for the question. Oh, Christine says, her foot getting stepped on. She said, it happened at a music festival last week. People were dancing and this guy suddenly jumped backwards, heavily bruising my foot. Oh, I'm so sorry. Talk about intense, right? Intensity. There it is. That's a great example of what I'm talking about today. That is an intense experience to have a total stranger stomp on you. But in a big group like that, music going on, that's a high intensity situation. Okay, let's see what else we have going on here. So I will be on air again this week on the Psychic Sisters, of course, on Thursday. Looking forward to sharing that with you. We always have a lot of fun on that show. Trying to get, there we go. I knew you were there. Okay, Marion says, I really need some clearing energy. I need to clear my home of clutter. I have come a long way, but need to get over the hump in my kitchen, living room, and dining room. If I do this, I get rewarded with new flooring. Can you help? Oh, hey, I would love, rewarded with new flooring. What can you say? That's awesome. Okay. Marion, one of the first things that you need to know about clutter is that clutter attracts energy. Clutter holds stagnant energy. It's one reason why clutter is hard to get rid of, is because the energy around it is heavy. And so as you work on it, it pulls you down and makes you heavy too. So as we're talking, I'm going to clear your space. But then I want you to start a practice of clearing your space before you work on it. So say you're going to work on decluttering your kitchen. Get some sage or some dragon's blood incense or something like that that you love to burn, and you burn it in your kitchen and you waft that smoke all over wherever your clutter is, and you use it to help to clear the heaviness out of that clutter before you work on it. You're going to have to do it every time because it's going to attract, it's just a magnet to stagnant energy. So it's going to build up over time. Again, continue every time you go to work on it, clear it again. So I just cleared a whole bunch of heavy energy out of your house, which will help. But then I think that you're going to need to do a little clearing ritual every time. So another way to clear that's very simple is to play a bell or a chime or a singing bowl, something that really resonates. Play that in the room and over all the areas where there's clutter to break up that stagnant energy. So if you clear it first, it will be easier to work on because it won't pull you down. It's like walking into a room that has quicksand, and as you step into the quicksand, it pulls you in and you get slower and slower moving at it. So if you can clear the energy first, it removes the quicksand. I hope that makes sense. So that would be my recommendation to you. I did just clear a lot of stagnant energy from there to get you started. Now, do something, burn something, play a chime, a singing bowl, CD would be great too. Something that will break up that heavy energy every time that you work on it so that it doesn't have the effect on you of dragging you down, because that's why we don't work on it. It makes us feel bad to work on clutter, and so we stay away from it, and then it just gets worse, right? So that is a great way to clear the clutter in your house. The other piece of that is to remember that if you try to take it on all at once, it will become overwhelming and you just won't do it. So choose a section, choose a room, and then choose an area in that room. This little area, this is my job today. And tomorrow it will be something new. And after that, it will be something new again. Okay? Don't try to do it all at once. You get overwhelmed and then you just don't do it at all. And there's a lot of that. So think about how you can parcel the work up in a way that will not be too overwhelming. Okay? Lots of love to you. And I hope you get your new flooring. I'm excited. Give us a picture if you can. Lynn says, thank you, Kristi. You were right. Lots of people's intense emotions all around me. I will do the meditation to clear my bubble. Good. That will help you so much. Let's see. Rhea says, I've been having right hip and low back pain for the last few weeks. Do I have stuck energy or something else going on? You guys are killing me because you've all got unstable root chakras. And it's just this period of intensity that spins us way up here. And then we get disconnected from our roots. So Rhea, let's just put your root in. I'm going to shift your root back into place. I'm going to give you the same recommendation I've already given, which to Debbie particularly was to go to my website and get my energy breathing meditation and start doing it at least once a day to help shift your root chakra into place and to help reaffirm that grounded, centered energy that is what you need in order for your physical body to function well. And you'll find that that will help to ease up your hip and back pain when your root is aligned and your energy body is functioning the way that it's supposed to. It's not pulling at you and pulling at your joints. So give that a try. And of course, if you need more help with that, you can find me at 12listen.com and we can work on it together individually on the phone. I would be happy to do that with you. Kylie says she is an Aries and she's wondering if there are readings. There are. Kylie, let me just see what I'm feeling for you. Oh, Kylie, okay, it's all right here in your heart today. I feel like you're in a little bit of a battle. You're in a battle between yourself and what you want and trying to be true to you and really love yourself and what someone else thinks that you should do. I feel like there's this tug of war going on inside of you. Here's what I want to validate for you. You are the expert on your own life. You know what makes you happy better than anyone does. This is someone who loves you. This is someone who wants the best for you. This is not someone who has, nefarious purposes behind anything. They just see your life from their own perspective. And so they don't fully understand what you need or what makes you happy the same way that you do. This is a really important time for you to grow and for you to say, I'm going to be me. I'm going to do what makes me happy. I love you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your recommendations. This is what I'm going to do because this is what feels right to me. You may have some pushback at first, but I have found that in general, people who love us will see that the choices that we make us happy, even if they aren't what we thought we should do or what they thought we should do. If they make us happy, if we're doing well, they come around in time. But it is okay to say, I appreciate your recommendation, I appreciate your opinion, but that's not what's right for me. That's not what's going to work for me. I'm going to do this. So I feel like this is an important time for you to really love yourself, to really validate yourself, and to express how you feel and make choices based on what is best for you. So, let that sink in. I feel like that's sort of a long-term message for you, something that you're going to be working on for a while. But I want to always validate for you that what you feel is right for you, what you feel makes you happy and is the direction that you should go with your life is in fact the right way to go. Even if someone doesn't agree with you, that's okay. It's still very important for you to take that time to really be true to yourself. Okay, Kylie? So thank you very much for being here and for that question and for your presence with us. Being on radio is fun for me as a kinetic empath because, I can feel you guys. It's like, to me, especially the video helps for some reason, even though I am the person looking at you. You're not looking at me. Well, you kind of are, but it's a video. I still feel like I feel you stronger with the video, which is really a lot of fun. So I enjoy that. Marion says, thank you so much. You are so right about the quicksand. Today is the kitchen. Awesome. You can do it. I know you can do it. It's hard to not get overwhelmed with those kinds of things. So do your best and always be kind to yourself. If you get stuck in the quicksand and you don't get much done, tomorrow is a new day and it will be okay. You can try again. Oh gosh, Christine shared a picture of her bruised foot. Ow. That guy needs punched for stepping on your foot like that. Good heavens, that looks like it hurt a lot. Well, you guys, we are down to the end of the hour. And I want to say thank you so much for joining me and for participating with me today. I will be available for you over at 1-2-Listen right after the show for the rest of the day. I did have my energy shift email reading available right now if you're feeling stuck and feeling like you need to get moving and you need some guidance and you need a game plan. I can do that for you, so check that out over at 12listen.com. Of course, pick up today's meditation at my website, kristibrower.com. If you liked that shifting perspective, you can download it. I will see you tomorrow on Melissa Caprio's show and again on Thursday on the Psychic Sisters. And as always, thanks for listening to 1-2 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.